what is interactive streaming?
Well, I mean, I think that the most important part of interactive streaming is how do we interact with the audience. So it's
Mm-hmm.
bringing the audience in, and that definition is very broad, but it can be them playing a game that's part of the content. It can be them asking questions, them voting on questions, them chatting along with it, and incorporating those things. Even we've done things where they're even moving or activating things inside of our set from the audience's interactions during the event. So there's lots of different ways, but it's really how do we tie that viewing audience really viscerally, preferably, into the event that's actually occurring.
Okay, so Alex got the interaction. Now, Oliver, you've got a specific kind of delivery mechanism. So how do you define interaction for your customers?
Yeah, of course, Alex is completely right. And in terms of the interactivity with audience engagement, that's the key. And I see two major use cases for that. The one is more like enterprise corporate space, where you have kind of town hall meetings to engage the audience, to ask questions, give any kind of feedback like voting, polling, etc. The other one is more like a monetized revenue channel, which is based on things like betting, auctions, gaming elements, which directly require ultra low latency to keep up in the real-time space. So that's specific business verticals, which are also covered, which are not so much connected to OTT TV kind of applications, but which have specific business requirements, and which is not only focused on the video itself, but the complete use case and the complete workflow of a business application.
Okay. And it's funny how, in terms of terminology, I mean, I once designed interactive software a long time ago, but Brian, you've got a different environment. What's your kind of definition of interactive?
Yeah, I mean, well, so obviously I live in the TV world, right? So everything I do is glass manufactured side of the business. So for me, I do need to work within the confines of presentation interactivity on the television itself. I know some of the folks here on the panel, they can probably play with different mediums, but for me, it's all about the TV. So when I think about interactivity personally, I think about what are we doing to enhance that viewing experience for folks? And it doesn't necessarily have to be limited to the types of use cases for interactivity, but certainly what we don't want to do is cannibalize the core viewing experience that we all know and love. We want to add to it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we've got three different kind of takes on interactivity. Jennifer, you've done a bunch of different research in terms of that field. So what does it look like to the consumer side? What do they kind of think of as interactivity?
The consumer point of view, right? It's I think generally we look at it as moving from primarily lean back experience to something that's lean in. That may be first screen, in-stream interactivity. It may be a second screen experience, and there's all sorts of different use cases, right? It might be an information experience where you're getting new live stats within a sports stream for your favorite players or your favorite team. It may be commerce related when we think about shoppable ads and being able to interact with advertising for the first time. Maybe more like a gaming experience, like others have mentioned already, right? Where there's sort of a gaming element, whether we're talking about wagering gaming or entertainment gaming. Also, kind of navigation even can be interactive in certain ways. So I think from our perspective, we think about how are consumers using video and communication, especially maybe communicating with others, right? During a stream, others, whether they be strangers or that people who like this content or your family members or friends who aren't with you. So all sorts of different use cases. But primarily that is changing a little bit of that. I'm just passively watching to something that's next level, and then I can lean in and do something different with.
Okay, so and I think you've mentioned earlier that younger people have a different method of either viewing or interactivity. What goes on there?
Yeah, sure. So when we test, so Park Associates is a market research firm. We survey 10,000 consumers every quarter. I'm asking about different use cases that they're doing with their media, with their technology, right? What are they using? What are they interested in using? And of course, can look down into the demographics there. Certainly younger consumers are used to viewing video, shorter form video, more interactive video, and they're very mobile first. So we did a survey recently and found that in the 30 days prior to the survey, less than half of 18 to 24-year-olds told us that they had watched any video of any kind, right? We asked about pay TV, internet streaming video, YouTube, anything, but fewer than half had watched video on a TV screen. And I'm sure Brian's going to say that his numbers are totally different. So welcome that. But what they did tell us is that they're essentially mobile first. So more than half had watched mobile video of some sort in the past 30 days, but they hadn't all watched on that big screen. And what that just tells us is that they're natively kind of interactive video viewers, because much of the video that they're viewing already has comment capabilities, like capabilities, interactive ads for sure. So I think that tells us that this great topic that we have here today is one that's only going to be advancing even on the big screen, because our youngest viewers are taking some of that experience and expectations with them as they age.